got the Tiger Cats to 500. They'd had some tough starts the last few years, and after going 0-2, including a close one against the Riders, they bounced back, and big divisional victories too against the Alouettes and then the Argos, and now trying to make it 3 in a row against their other Eastern rival, the Ottawa Redblacks, today.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about their rough starts. You know, over the past couple of years, they're 1-11, Rod, in their first 4 games of the season. 2-2, much better for them.
We are underway. Week 6 continues here in Hamilton. And it is Isaiah Wooden who had a kickoff return for a touchdown, part of that explosive performance in terms of racking up points for the Ticats last week in Toronto. Bo Levi Mitchell, a big part of that, throwing for over 300 yards, as mentioned, 5 touchdown passes, Lapo, no picks.
Yeah, and when you watch his vision, that's the great thing, having a veteran quarterback, his vision to see pictures. I love this football team will force you to cover downfield, because if you are holding your defensive backs in any way, form on the underneath routes, he's going to make you pay and take it over the top.
His running back is Johnny Augustine, who stays in, then heads out, and lots of time as it's thrown over to Augustine, and a flag is down up across the 45, the product of Guelph, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, and getting the start at running back for these Ticats.
We'll wait here for this penalty and see what happened here. Looks like it's Ticats, Rod.
It's like it.
Procedure, no end. Hamilton. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
As announced by the referee Tim Croker, no end, so the Ticats push back into a 1st and 15.
Heavy play action on the first play. Usually you put tight end sets in there, whether one of the receivers was off or one of the tight ends was not on the line of scrimmage. You have to cover both offensive. The 5 offensive linemen have to be covered by eligible receivers. That's why the penalty happened.
Watch for his favorite target, Kenny Lawler. What a game he had with 3 touchdown catches last week. On the ground, though, to Augustine. Pushes his way up across the 40. Gets up near the 44, and it'll be a 2nd and long coming up here for the Cats.
Coulter Woodmansey has really looked great on film. His physicality has shown very well as a guy who's moved from guard to the center position. PFF's top scorer as an offensive lineman. Now, Kenny Lawler continues to solidify himself as the best receiver in the CFL with his 3 touchdown game. He is a high-point football player that is one of the best in the business.
The nose of the ball up at the Hamilton 44. It's a 2nd and 7. Opening possession here in Hamilton. And Mitchell, the pass to the right, and nearly intercepted. It was intended for Tim White. Amari Henderson right there. Bobbled, and it hits the turf, but very close to a turnover for the Ottawa Redblacks.
Bo trying to hit the throw to the wide side of the field, but Amari Henderson recognized that they're trying to throw this 15-yard out. He breaks off, gets underneath it. The ball's a little high. It's high because you're trying to throw it between 2 players, between Bennett Williams and Amari Henderson. Good play on the outside, but the Redblacks been very good in the pass game, taking the football away with takeaways.
Well, Bo's only thrown 1 pick this season, nearly threw a 2nd one there, and the Ticats have to punt. Nick Constantino, and the returner is Khalil Pimpleton. It heads out of bounds in the air and outside the 15. So a flag does come out, as Constantino will be penalized for it sending it out of bounds before it got deep enough. So Drew Brown on first possession, Redblacks, and will have improved field position here.
We want those returners returning the ball here, Rod.
Out of bounds. Hamilton.
We want all those big returns in the
first
Canadian
down,
Football League.
Ottawa.
Drew Brown. Sorry, Lapo, 31 of 43, 316, 2 touchdown passes last week in Edmonton. His first action since week 1 in Saskatchewan. 26 net yards after the punt because of the penalty. Brown to throw. First down, no. Intended for Geno Lewis. Brian Cole is there. And it's low and it falls incomplete. Let's have a look at that Ottawa Redblacks offense.
Zach Pelios returns after an injury to help solidify this offensive line, and this will also help the defense. We'll get into that later and explain it. Khalil Pimpleton, explosive receiver. He will pull double duties today as a starting receiver and returner with Devontae Dedman on the IR. We'll keep an eye on how they substitute and help him throughout the course of this game.
Stavros Katsantonis showing blitz for a moment, then backs up. It's a 2nd down and 10 Drew Brown over the middle and caught. Goes right back to Gino Lewis. 87 has it. Gets it in the Ticat zone and a first down for Ottawa inside the Hamilton 45.
One of Ottawa's favorite football plays. You're going to see a clear out and then somebody following behind it. What you're trying to do is lift the zone players and then take big Eugene Lewis and let him show up right behind the linebackers. Watch how slow he is to that spot. This is Drew Brown's favorite football play. Great execution. Here come the Redblacks going no huddle.
Lewis at 8 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown last week in his return to Edmonton. Gain of 27 inside the Ticats 45. Brown. Daniel Adebaboye faking to him in the backfield. Throwing back to the left to no one. The closest receiver there was Keelan White with Jamal Peters with him. It sails out of bounds, second down.
Julian Hauser, second stint with the club, getting better every week. PFF's top performer last week in his game. I love seeing this guy back. Reggie Stubblefield, free agent signing for the Tigers. They're willing to wait for this player throughout the season, and Jonathan Moxey has been outstanding on the perimeter on the outside for this Ticats defense.
The ball at the Hamilton 43. No score in this one. Opening possession for the Redblacks. Down close to scoring range now. Throwing again to the left. It is caught. Lewis again. Second catch. Gino Lewis. Good effort afterwards. With Devin Verisuk, the rookie linebacker, on him, Lewis is able to lunge for another Ottawa first down.
Good protection. You're going to see some pressure from the right side. Reggie Stubblefield is blitzing off the perimeter. They leave a zone area on the outside for Eugene Lewis to be on the inside. He just settles in that space, waits for the ball, makes one player miss. That's what you're always trying to do. Just get one miss and make your play for the first down.
So a good start for the Redblacks offense just outside the Hamilton 31. Another first down. Adebaboye in the backfield. Justin Hardy on the move to the left. Brown with time, throws to the right. It is caught. Down inside the 20, down inside the 15. The fullback, Anthony Gosselin, has it. And approaching the Ticat 10, Ottawa's offense getting closer now in a gain of 20 more yards.
This is what Drew Brown's strength is. You may have plays that have a post, a deep route, but when he sees everybody lifted, he doesn't force it, checks it down to the fullback. Anthony Gosselin, I talked to Coach Dice 2 weeks ago, and he said he is one of the most improved football players on their football team as a fullback and special teams player.
Down to the 11. Adebaboye, flag coming out, and not much going on there. Little mess down around the line of scrimmage for Adebaboye. Might have picked up a yard. Ticats had that, as mentioned. Some laundry down on the field.
You know, for the Redblacks, Rod, most trips in the CFL in the red zone, but 7th in scoring touchdowns. Hopefully this flag doesn't hurt their opportunity to score touchdowns.
Procedure, no end. Ottawa. Penalties decline. It's second down.
So we got one on each side of the ball.
Yeah.
We got to go back to preseason camp where you can't. Offensive linemen have to be covered by eligible receivers on both sides of the football.
Redblacks averaging 10 penalties a game. That's the highest in the CFL coming into this one. So they load up again after the penalty. Brown, pump fake, steps up, end zone toss, touchdown. The rookie Keelan White, picked 3rd overall in the 2025 draft, has a touchdown, his first CFL touchdown. But a flag is out, and this might be coming back.
Yeah, it looked like he might be over the line of scrimmage when he threw that. They're going to take a look and see this. Sneaky thing about Drew Brown, his ability to use his legs, Rod. Very sneaky. He does a good job. Climb in the pocket, find an underneath throw. Everybody played zone.
Well, they discussed, but clearly over the line of scrimmage when he found that open receiver, White, in the end zone. Remember, the ball was scrimmage right at the 10-yard line, and that is the discussion now. Was Brown over the line, or is it an Ottawa touchdown? Here's the answer.
There's no flag on the play. The result of the play is a touchdown.
So Keelan White, first of his career, Let's have another look at how this played out in the touchdown pass from Brown.
Line of scrimmage is the 10-yard line. So as Hamilton drops back into zone and Drew doesn't trust anything, he pulls this ball right down. He sees Varasek there. He starts climbing, trying to find a throw. See it right there. His back foot behind the line of scrimmage. Finds Keelan White.
As long as that back foot is behind the line, touchdown White, 7 plays, 70 yards in just over 3 minutes. Drew Brown, another touchdown toss for him. That's his 5th of the season.
Very good start on the road into the wind. It's a good start for the Redblacks.
Lewis Ward, Richie Leone putting it down straight through. So opening possession and the start the Redblacks at 1-4 really need here in Hamilton, where it's tough for Ottawa to pick up a win. Keelan White on the receiving end to get things started.
I'm Trevor Harris.
Gary Peters.
Wynton McManus.
Curly Gittens Jr.
This is Stanley Brown.
You'd be silly to not draft me.
Make sure you draft me
Hey, make sure y'all go add me
Make sure you draft me.
for your fantasy team if you want to win.
Very important drive when you're going into the wind. Drew Brown seeing good pictures. Big shot to Geno Lewis. 2 catches, 39 yards on the drive. Makes some people miss here. Looking for shots downfield. Checking it down to Anthony Gosling for a 20-yard gain. And I love this. Pull the ball down. You don't trust the picture. Find an outlet. Get the touchdown. And again, I can't stress how important it is when you're into the wind, when you're going to have the worst field position early in the game, that you come out, take time off the clock, and score.
So the kickoff by Lewis Ward, and up across the 40, 45, 50, midfield, Isaiah Wooden, before he's knocked out of bounds by Elijah McGee. And Keelan White may want to hang on to that ball. First career TD catch. It stands up. Short one there from Drew Brown and a 7-0 Ottawa lead here at Hamilton Stadium. As mentioned, very hot day here in the Hammer. Got to stay hydrated as we say hello to Matthew Cinetti.
Well, it wouldn't be a game in Hamilton if I'm not doing some kind of weather report, Rod. It was as high as 35 degrees here in Hamilton today, and we've had midday games where it's been scorching. But the one thing you need to know about Hamilton Stadium, it is a very, very large west end. And when the sun goes over, when the sun goes away, the heat kind of goes down. It's still around 32 degrees, but both teams are looking to hydrate. There's pickle and pickle juice inside Ottawa's fridge. The Ticats are using the Gator Light, which is a really, really high concentrated salt, but the training staff's been telling Ticat players, listen, drink 3 to 4 liters of water starting yesterday. And another thing you're going to notice today, a lot of these players don't have their socks on. When it's as high as 35 degrees, the teams are allowed not to wear their socks, Rob.
And Matthew, Bo Levi Mitchell on that snap got away from him, has to throw it away, and a flag comes out. He tried to get it across the line of scrimmage from where he was throwing it.
Yeah, just an errant.
Intentional grounding. Hamilton, number 19. It's lost it down. It's second down.
A little high. Didn't get it with his eyes. Got to bring his eyes to the ball. You're just going to try to throw this away and try to cross the line of scrimmage to prevent that huge loss. He just didn't get it past the line of scrimmage, so it's going to draw the intentional grounding penalty.
Not much he could do there with the snap going over his head and just trying to make something out of it. So they are pushed way back inside their 40-yard line to about the 37 and down 7-0. So a couple of bottles of water in and need to get that pickle juice going, Lapo. What do you have for 2nd and 33 here, Coach?
Not a lot. Make sure you don't turn the ball over here. Screen pass.
Chuck it deep for Kenny Lawler.
Yeah.
That's worked before. Looked that way initially and then does just check it down for Johnny Augustine. It goes incomplete. And a 3rd and long coming up and a 2-and-out for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
You always talk about offenses can defeat themselves. You like defensively sometimes. Just play some zone, Rod, because teams are going to drop passes. They're going to put themselves in bad positions by fumbled snaps, drop passes. This right here, it's going to be very difficult to overcome this. Play zone, drop everybody out, and wait to get the ball back.
Well, you talked about Khalil Pimpleton with Devontae Dedmon hurt last week in Edmonton. Double duty. He's back for the returns as well. Pimpleton had a return for a touchdown last week against the Elks, a 53-yard punt across the 25, getting up across the 30, he's still going, finding an edge, and Ante Litre finally wrestles him out of bounds after a return of 24 yards. Good start. Drew Brown, Ottawa Redblacks. They drive down in their opening possession for the touchdown pass to Keelan White, and they have the ball again. And a 7-point lead here in Hamilton.
Hey, sleepyhead, over here. It's time to get moving.
I can't really go anywhere.
No, silly, I'm talking about saving for their education.
Oh. Wait, what?
With Embark, you can open an RESP from home in 8 minutes. Yeah, grab your phone. There are no minimums, no hidden fees. Shh. Wow, you are delirious.
No, I'm not.
You are, because you're taking advice from Slippers.
Daddy needs some sleep.
Good luck with that.
Bear in mind, this is Drew Brown's 3rd start. He missed 3 games, but impressive numbers, Lapo, in terms of yards passing per game, and still has not thrown a pick.
Most important thing for an offense is make sure not only score touchdowns is obviously one of the biggest things, but the second biggest thing, protect the football. They've done that. This football team, +3 in turnover margin. That's a great thing for the Ottawa Redblacks. First time they've been in a plus margin since probably 2018. You put themselves in a position where you can win games by winning the turnover margin.
So from the 44 and a first down off to the right. And that is caught. William Stanback's first touch of this game as he gets it up across the 50 and second down and about 3.5 yards to go.
So here's what's real important for the Redblacks. Last week they're in so many second and extra situations. This is an early first down call. Get the ball into William Stanback's hands. Short yardage situation, manageable second downs, and the Redblacks going a little bit of no huddle to try to keep some rhythm in their offense.
On that second down play, throwing, it is tipped, it's caught anyway. Wow, Justin Hardy on the deflection, he still brings it down at the Hamilton 40, and another first down for Ottawa.
Justin Hardy, spectacular catch. As he, right here, you'll see him go here. You'll see a linebacker drop out. When that linebacker drops out, he's going to get a hand on it. We'll see what happens as the hand goes. He recovers. That's amazing hand-eye coordination. Finding the ball in the air after it's tipped, putting yourself in a position to make the one-handed catch.
Off that play, Hardy with the ball again inside the 40. It's 3, maybe 4 before he runs in a whole lot of black and gold. Jamal Peters there to push him back. But yeah, have another look at what Justin Hardy just did the play before.
Have the ability to find the ball in the air, pull it to yourself, bring it down. He basically batted it to himself, made a one-handed catch. That's a spectacular play from the East Carolina product. Spectacular 1,000-yard season last year for Justin Hardy.
Second leading receiver in the CFL in 24, picks up 3 more yards after that play. Second down and 7. Redblacks in the Ticat zone. Throwing. And it is coughed up, intended for Geno Lewis right down around the 20. Ticats with the ball. And out of bounds. He was just drilled there. Stavros Katsantonis with the football.
As he works inside, you're going to see a linebacker come to deliver a blow as contact is made. Big
ruling
hit
on the
right
field
there.
is an incomplete pass. Timer, please reset the clock to 6:25.
Great timing by Ray Wilburn. In full speed, you can see how quickly this happens by Wilburn. He basically knocks the ball out of a nice first down catch that could have been. Keep the Redblacks in a position for the first down.
Wilborn hit him hard. Stavros Katsantonis picked it up, and the chance that they would rule it a catch and a fumble, but no, it's an incompletion. And a third down coming up here.
So important for that play right there, because as you see, the Redblacks have brought out their punt team because they do not want to make a long kick, Rod, a long field goal into this win.
They are against the breeze, so it's Richie Leone inside the Ticat zone from about the 50. Trying to pin him deep. And Wooden comes over as it sails out of bounds. Looks to be right around inside the 10. Yeah, marking it about the 8.5 for Kenny Lawler and the Ticats offense. And what a game for him at BMO Field in Toronto against the Argos.
They went deep to him. He underthrown balls. He went up and took it away. He ran by defenders. He high-pointed the ball, kept his balance there. That's an amazing thing to make sure when you make those contested catches, keep your balance. You will always score. The defensive back will fall down. Good recognition of where the ball is. First 200-yard receiver of the season. Amazing game last week.
Third time he's done that in his career. 6 catches, over 200 for 3 touchdowns. Running the football are the Ticats. They work it up to the 14. We take a look at that Redblacks defense.
Bryce Carter's going to try to slow down this football team. He leads this team with 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble with his effort. High effort football player from James Madison. Darius Pickett, 9 tackles last week, 1 tackle for loss. He was all over the field. 4th in the CFL in defensive plays. And leading interception, C.J. Colden, second-year player, Oklahoma. Tall task going against Kenny Lawler at times today.
Got 4 receivers to the left of O'Meal, Levi Mitchell, and now Tim White goes in motion to the right. 2nd and 5. Throwing shorter underneath Augustine. First down across the 20. The sticks will move for the Ticats past the midway point of this first quarter.
as you see the Redblacks just drop everybody out in the zones. Bo recognizes immediately, takes the check down to Johnny Augustine. When you're in second and medium, you can do that all day for the first downs. I love Hamilton Tigercats doing a lot more no huddle at the line of scrimmage operation, Rod, as you see here. They kind of like to call it at the line of scrimmage. They got a veteran quarterback, let him call plays, see pictures, gives them more time to see pictures.
First down of this game for the Ticats from their 24. Passing again and coming in for it is Kenny Lawler, but not close enough for 89. You look at his projections, and yes, early in this season, but still pretty ridiculous the number he's put up. And this is just in 4 games, heading into this one with 483 yards already. See what that works out to.
General Manager Ted Gavaya had a Hamilton Tiger-Cats general manager. I had a conversation with him in the offseason, and he said, yes, did we pay a lot for Kenny Lawler? We spent a lot of money on Kenny Lawler, but why wouldn't we pair one of the best deep ball throwers and a guy who wants to throw it deep with one of the best deep ball receivers I've seen?
The key, of course, keep him healthy in an 18-game season. Who knows? Maybe he'd have a chance to go over 2,000. The throw there, and that's Keandre Smith's way. He had a touchdown catch last week against the Argos. But a third down is coming up. The punting unit coming on for the Ticats. Bennett Williams getting the start at safety.
Bennett Williams shows great range in running this ball down from his safety spot. This is a completion to Keandre Smith if he doesn't cover ground to work to the wide side of the field and get the knockdown. Really good Bennett Williams, 4 special teams tackles, 10 total tackles. Second player from Oregon. He's been a very productive football player in the times he's played for the Redblacks.
Third different safety the Redblacks have had to use this season because of injuries. So on the punt and heading to Khalil Pimpleton at the 15, the 20. 68-yard punt by Nick Constantino as Pimpleton gets it up to the Ottawa 30. Reggie Stubblefield, might remember him from the Montreal Alouettes and a great 2023. He got hurt last year. This is his first game in 400 days. Matthew's going to have more on him. As a rookie 2 years ago, he was a big part of the Montreal Alouettes' run to the Grey Cup. Then he got hurt an opening night and missed just about all of last season. His Ticats debut tonight, Matthew.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Rod. 400 days is a long time, especially when you consider how significant of an acquisition Reggie Stubblefield was for the Ticats in the offseason. And Stubblefield posted about it yesterday, and he had a lot of energy coming into the game today. And I spoke to defensive coordinator Brent Munson. You mentioned it, Lapple, just that kind of speed that you can see the way that Reggie Stubblefield attacks the line in scrimmage. But he could have played last week. You also mentioned that as well, Coach. And the one thing when I asked Brent Munson about it, he said, we wanted to keep him as long as we could because we know the way he can attack the line of scrimmage and attack the football. We wanted his energy, and we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to have him on a pitch count. And who was the guy leading the Ticats out before the game, leading them in their warm-up and their stretches, and leading them on the defense tonight from the linebacker position? It's Reggie Stubblefield, guys.
He's fond memories of this stadium, too, winning the Grey Cup here a couple of years ago, Matthew. And in the Ticats lineup tonight on a running play by the Redblacks on the first down, William Stanback. Little sample of what Reggie Stubblefield did as a rookie in 2023, Lapo.
Yeah, it was very productive. You could tell that this guy was an outstanding player. Started 13 games last season and was gangbusters. If you remember, he was the 2023 Montreal's most outstanding nominee for Rookie of the Year. See him there in the Grey Cup.
Got that big sack of Zach Collaros in the Grey Cup game, too, late fourth quarter. Here's Brown trying to do something.
Wow,
he just dishes it off for a first down to Keelan White. Alertly done there as Brown and White connect again. Just looked like Brown was heading out of bounds.
Watch this balance right here as he's going. He's got vision to see, is anybody around me? I know I'm protecting because I'm running out of bounds. And then I find to make that play at the end is an amazing play on the outside to Keelan White. Nice play. And again, we've already got a touchdown. And now we've got a first down by Drew Brown's ability to use his legs. That's one thing when you put the tape on him, he can create with his legs. Hey, one point on Reggie Stubblefield, if we go back to that, talking to management last season, they said, we signed this player because he's a great player. We may lose him early in the season. We are okay with that. We're going to work him slowly back in. If he starts out in the 6th game, that's okay. But this is a player we think we needed more playmakers on defense.
There's no flag on the play.
And this is somebody who makes us
first down.
Makes us better on defense. So hats off to the Ticats management saying, hey, let's go get this good football player.
Yeah, see what kind of payoff Hamilton gets, because he certainly looks worthwhile from what they saw in Montreal in 2023. And second straight time, Drew Brown to Keelan White. A flag comes down, and they had to review it. There's no penalty. It is a first down.
He's just hanging out right at the line of scrimmage.
Brilliant throws. Improv there by Drew Brown up across to the 41. First down, Redblacks up by 7. Throwing now. It is caught. Still on his feet is Gosselin with his second catch. He gets it up to around the 47 for the Redblacks.
And here's a conversation of, the Redblacks don't have a lot of explosive deep ball throws here. This is a check down to your fullback. You see Drew Brown looking deep. Do I have anybody deep to throw to? No. That's why he has 0 interceptions, Rod, because the deep shots weren't there. Checks it down to Gosling, put them in 2nd and short. This is what they didn't do last week. Too many 2nd and longs. This is a good second drive for the Redblacks.
3 yards to go on this second down. Handing off, stand back again, nowhere to run. All stuffed up for a loss. Or barely making it back to the line of scrimmage for stand back, and we get a 3rd down coming up.
Very difficult to run when you walk everybody up to the line of scrimmage. You have extra bodies at the line of scrimmage. Wilburn gets in there, makes a nice play, forces the punt.
For Richie Leone, in the 35, Isaiah Wooden, averaging 16 yards a punt return. And takes some contact there after a punt of 42, and a flag does come out on that short return by Isaiah Wooden.
During the return, illegal block, Hamilton number 1. 10-yard penalty, first down Hamilton.
And it is Stubblefield who gets flagged for the illegal block, pushing Bo Levi Mitchell back a little further. 5 touchdowns, no picks last week in Toronto, Lapo.
Yeah, his ability to recognize what's happening. And I just know each week he gets a better trust factor with Kenny Lawler for those deep shots. As we talked about off the top, he will, if you are a defensive back and you do not back up, I am going to take those shots downfield.
Right at the 15, 1st and 10, and the handoff, and breaking through. Good pickup there by Krishawn Ward in at running back there for the Ticats, and a first down, Hamilton.
Amazing numbers, coming close to the great Tracy Ham with Bo Levi Mitchell, all-time passing leaders with 40,000. Amazing. This is the thing I love about his longevity, be able to go from Calgary over to Hamilton and now have, later in his career, have such a great season so far. And obviously last year was tremendous too.
Handing off to Ward again, and not much doing there. Maybe a yard for Trayshawn Ward, but yeah, for Mitchell. This season gets his 100th career victory. Last week goes over 40,000 yards for his career. Only 11th ever to do so. And we showed that number compared to Tracy Ham. If he is a good outing in this night, he could move into the top 10 in CFL history for passing.
You can see him right here. Obviously, you got a veteran. He's controlling everything at the line of scrimmage. Scott's signaling to play in, but they're doing it they are not huddling, trying to give him more time to see pictures.
No gain, 2nd and 10, throwing, and a nice catch for a first down. Tim White has it across the Hamilton 45.
Little different picture here by the Ticats, but doing the same thing, right? You're going to see a vertical and then a player coming to the middle of the field. This is the very same play that Ottawa scored on. You have one guy clear out and then come underneath the underside. Good push and expansion of the linebacker. Really good play. Really good vision here.
On the first down, last play, first quarter. Back to the ground they go again to Ward. It'll be a 2nd and long coming up as they switch ends. Opening possession, Redblacks. Down the field they went. Then it was Keelan White hauling in the touchdown from Drew Brown, and that's our score through the first 15. Ottawa 7, Hamilton nothing.
What team will win the 112th Grey Cup?
Oh, come on.
Let me talk to my crystal ball real quick.
You know the answer to that.
Who'd you pick?
Saskatchewan Rough Riders will win.
BC Lions will definitely win the 112th Grey Cup.
Ottawa Redblacks.
I'm going to go with the dark horse or the white horse.
Back at Hamilton Stadium through one quarter, the Ottawa Redblacks impressive offensively in the early going Lapo with the 7-0 lead.
I thought the most important thing, obviously, was the Redblacks defense. Can you slow down what happened with this offense last week? 32 passing yards, only 27 yards rushing. I think they're doing what they need to do, keeping Hamilton off the field, not getting the ball into Lawler's hands, making it difficult, and giving some short fields for Drew Brown.
Good point. As much as Ottawa's offense has sustained possession a little longer, too, you're right, that defense doing a job. Is it me, or do we need more pickle juice coming up here? Certainly the water's going down. I can only imagine down in the field how they're hydrating. It is a hot one. 32 degrees at kickoff here at Hamilton Stadium. Bo Levi Mitchell. Second quarter begins. 2nd down and 8 at the Hamilton 51. Steps up. Lots of time now. Throws on the move, and it's caught by Shamar Bridges. Bridges, outstanding rookie in the CFL last year with his first catch on this night. And that will pick up the first down, move the sticks into the Ottawa zone for the Ticats.
As Bo looks to his left, trying to find a throw on the back to his left, doesn't like the picture. Protection breaks down. He starts scrambling to his right. What's going to happen? McGee's going to be high because Bo's looking on the other side of the field. He finds Shamar Bridges. Good scramble by Bo to get the first down.
Mitchell's 3rd completion on 7 passes now. And a first down. With time again, coming across to catch it with a flag coming out. DeAndre Smith has it, and down close to another first down around the Ottawa 40. We'll see what this flag is all about. It is back in the Ticats' backfield.
Holding. Hamilton number 64. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Called against the center, Calderwood Manzi, who started his career as a guard, moved over with David Beard, going back to Edmonton.
You'll see Coulter Windmanzi right here. He's covered with, that means there's a defender lined up right over him. And he almost falls down on his own, and he ends up pulling the defender down. So that's a penalty. Sometimes for the centers, being covered is difficult. What does covered mean? Having a guy standing over the top of you. You have puts yourself in a one-on-one blocking situation with no help.
On the penalty and a first down and 20 on the hold. That one is complete, and moving up to get a lot of that yardage back on that first down play is Treshawn Ward, who gets all of that penalty yardage back and then a little bit more. 2nd and long coming up.
And this is what you want to do. You're at 1st and extra. What do you want to do? You want to get half of it back. Put yourself in a position. It is too difficult to be in 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20. So now you're sitting in a 2nd and 9. Gives you a good opportunity to get the first down. So nice throw by Bo, taking the underneath throw, put themselves in a position here.
Ward already had 3 carries. That his first catch for 11 yards. And a 2nd down and 9 now. Standing at midfield. Mitchell completes that one. Taking a pop as Lawler. Darius Pickett coming in. But inside the 40, and that's enough for a Hamilton first down.
You talk about Kenny Lawler. Not only can he catch everything, but he's got great concentration. Why? Because of Darius Pickett's running full speed in a bad mood, ready to hit him, Rod, and he makes this catch. Bo takes the underneath throw. 2nd and 9. Kenny protects himself. Huge hit by Pickett. The concentration by Kenny Lawler, spectacular on that play.
First catch for Lawler. 2nd time he was targeted. 10-yard gain. First down, Ticats. Down 7, but on the move inside the Ottawa 40, down to the Redblack 38.
You know, Bo Levi last week had a perfect quarterback rating for the 4th time of his career. 153. I don't even know what that means, buddy, right? And then there's an uncapped one with 195. I don't even know what that means. You had a perfect rating last week, I heard in your play-by-play.
I don't know about that. There's always a few slip-ups. Perfection is just so elusive. But for Bo, would say...
Offside. Hamilton number 12.
I mean, the way he played...
5-yard
and
penalty.
the way he worked
Still
with
first
Lawler
down.
especially, that was as close to perfect as you can get.
Yeah, and you knew... You know, like last year when you had conversations with him, he just said, like, he had to take a lot of time to learn within Scott's system when, hey, it's time for you to take off and run. Take off and run. It's time for you to check the ball down. Check the ball down. Make good decisions. And that's the best thing about him. You know, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions last week. You can see the strength. Scott trusts him by putting all this no-huddle stuff in his hands.
10th play of this drive from the Ottawa 43, 1st and 15. And yet, that was after another penalty, by the way. Kenny Lawler, the intended receiver there, but it is incomplete. So this Hamilton offense hasn't been in the same kind of sync tonight as they were last week.
Yeah, good stops by the Redblacks. They're doing a good job. Bo's looking to throw it inside. Doesn't like the picture, so he goes outside to Kenny Lawler. And C.J. Colton's right there. Good drive up to make the play, to get a knock on the ball. And again, we already talked about Colton's got 2 interceptions this season. It's been a very good boundary corner for this Redblacks team.
Mitchell so far 5 for 10, 63 yards. And needing a lot here in this 2nd down and long. 2nd and 15 at the Ottawa 43. And Mitchell again with time. And off to the left. And no! Something you rarely have ever see right into the hands of 89. But Lawler, who would have had a first down, could not hang on.
So they moved Kenny Lawler from the boundary to the wide side of the field. So now they're going to try. They think they're going to get softness. What does that mean? Softness to the coverage, which they do. Just doesn't make the catch on the wide side of the field there. Great throw by Bo. Great understanding. Just got to finish. Like the game planning of moving him to the wide side of the field on the field corner.
Remarkable moment in 2 very different ways last week and this, to see a very uncommon drop by Kenny Lawler that forces the Ticats to punt against this breeze. Inside their end is Constantino getting rid of it just on the Ottawa side of midfield, and that one going a bit too far as Pimpleton will just take a knee, give up the point, and get the better field position for the Redblacks. So the Ticats do get on the board, but not the way they were counting on as they were moving down to start this 2nd quarter. The drive stalls the punt in the end zone on this scorcher in Hamilton.
At OK Tire, we can fix your pickup. We can fix things that pick up your pickup. And we can even fix things that pick up what can pick up your pickup.
We are all thinking about Ticats general manager Ted Kavaya, and certainly his former players and teammates at Mount Allison are representing today. Let's go back to Matthew.
So pleased to be joined by former Mount Allison coach Gord Grace, who coached alongside Ted Kavaya. How important has it been to get the entire alumni and many members of the football community at Mount Allison out here today to support Ted?
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Actually, we've gotten together the last couple of days to celebrate Ted and everything that he means to us. There's a whole booth up there of former Mounties, coaches and players, friends who came out the last couple of days to support Ted. Ted's been amazing, friend and colleague for so many years to so many of us. His impact is not only in the CFL, not only with the Ticats and the Blue Bombers, but across professional football, university football, and amateur football. And we just wanted to be here in support of him and tell him we love him.
To that point, take this through, and the audience as well, emphasize the kind of effect he had in his time coaching at Mount Allison and just the kind of love that he still has in New Brunswick.
Well, Ted's a connector. We said this today. He's also a hell of a recruiter, and that's part of what his role is here. But everybody talks about the story about getting recruited to Mount A, and it's so unique. But not just coming to Mount A, but making us all feel at home in Sackville, New Brunswick, and the relationship since that time. Ted, as I said, is a connector. He's been with people forever. Once you become a colleague, a friend of Ted, you're a friend for life.
Thank you for this. What an incredible gesture. Thank you, Gord.
Good. Thanks for having us. Thanks to the Ticats and the CFL for everything they've done too. Appreciate it.
Very heartwarming. Mount Allison here. We're all thinking of Ted Gavaya and his battle with cancer. Drew Brown is sacked by Casey Sales, taken down at the 40. And a big loss for Ottawa, and a third down coming up.
Casey Sales doing a good job keeping his gap responsibility. And as he feels Drew Brown start to scramble, you'll see him right here. He's going in his pass rush lane. As Drew Brown starts to move, he starts to find him and go ahead and beat and cross-face the right guard and go make the play. So he moves Bladdock out of the way. He bench presses him, throws him to the side, and gets the quarterback to prevent, once again, a scramble for a first down by Drew.
So Ottawa's forced to punt. Richie Leone gets it away. Isaiah Wooden chase back just inside his 15 to take this one. 56-yard punt. See what kind of return Wooden can get. Gets around, turning it up. Isaiah Wooden. Here we go. He takes a spin at midfield and finally goes down at the Ottawa 50. How many big returns for this guy so far this season? Isaiah Wooden. Thinking about breaking this one. He's had a couple of kickoff returns for touchdowns this season. Hamilton set up nicely. A game of explosive moments last week in Toronto, including this one. Off the Argos kickoff, Isaiah Wooden, who returned one for a touchdown against Calgary in week 1, did it again, 86 yards. Lapo, I don't know what was more important, the fact that Hamilton got a much-needed touchdown, or Roy Lister, the Save on Foods contest, gets $1 million.
So amazing for Roy Lister. You hear that call every week, and finally we get $1 million winner.
Hamilton ball. Augustine can't hang on. Not a live ball. It's an incomplete pass. And yeah, Wooden making others richer.
So one thing, Rod, big plays are up this season 40%, and big plays a 20-plus run, 30-plus pass, or an explosive special teams play. This is one of the reasons why the play of Isaiah Wooden, awesome to see. And again, Hamilton needed this field flipped from a field position because they were into the wind. This puts them in a much better position in this second quarter into the wind.
Thanks to a 47-yard punt return by Isaiah Wooden. So they're set up now in a 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass from the Ottawa 52. Down by 6. Quickly throwing. First down catch for the Ticats, and Brendan O'Leary-Orange on the receiving end, right down around the Ottawa 40, and that's enough to keep this drive going.
We'll see him right here. The linebacker's going to leave as they move people out of the backfield, and then he'll replace that middle of the field. You can see it right there. That space for the slant. Hits it underneath for the first down for the nice 10-yard gain. Good schematic play by the Ticats, moving the linebackers out of the box.
They got to about this point of the field the last time they had the ball. Came up with just a rouge. Now in the 1st and 10, play action pass. Deep look to the end zone. Too far and nearly intercepted. Elijah McGee had the best shot at it, but the red-black defender couldn't come down with it in the end zone. So a 2nd and 10 coming up here for Mitchell.
You have a post route in the deep middle of the field, and then you have a guy underneath the post route. I think when he comes back and watches the film, he's going to like to take the underneath route. You see Williams there. You see McGee over the top of that. trying to layer that ball in the middle of the field. I think Bo, he looks at it with his hands up. He's probably saying he wanted him to go at a higher angle, a different angle than he saw. You can tell him right there, frustrated, trying to figure out what the angle should have been for the post.
Kenny Lawler at the bottom of your screen, looking off to the right. That is caught. It's Keandre Smith coming across and getting that one right at the first down marker to move the sticks again.
We always talk about how does a guy take the top off the coverage. Kenny Lawler is the outside receiver here. He goes deep, everybody clears out. What do? You throw underneath to Keandre Smith. So the strength of Kenny Lawler helps open up this underneath pass to Keandre Smith for a nice 10-yard gain, for a nice first down.
Getting it up to the Ottawa 28 now. The furthest progress now, Lapo, for the Ticats offense.
Yeah, and they are now in field goal range. So they just got to do everything in their power to make sure they don't lose yards here, and then they can walk away with 3 points from a backed up position. So this has been a huge drive into the win for the Ticats. Once again, no huddle from the Ticats. Bo's trying to conserve as much time as he can to see the pictures the defense is doing.
Kind of a swirling breeze, but clearly against Hamilton, picking up every now and then, but down to the 28 now and a 1st and 10. Mitchell throwing again. It's caught by Giovanni Robinson. Big Robinson, global player. And the tight end takes it down to about the 12. And that's another first down for the Cats.
Little pressure by the Redblacks, playing zone underneath it. Giovanni Robinson just stays underneath, makes Robert Priester miss. Way to recognize the coverage, throw underneath. Good pickup by the offensive line. Another first down. First downs on first downs. That's what you want to do. Keep in rhythm, keep getting first downs.
Robinson's first catch of the night gets him down to the 12. 1st and 10, Ticats. Threatening now. Rolling out to the right. Mitchell. He checks it down to Anthony Milanovic. Litre takes a pop, and he turns around and he keeps going. And then Bennett Williams and Robert Priester. And McGowan in there, too, to wrestle Litre down. The ex-Red Black got the touch that time. It's a 2nd down coming up.
Good play-action pass here. You're going to see some misdirection and then getting people out for Bo to have an opportunity to move. You fake like you're going zone to the left. Litre comes back out. If the defender comes up, you get a shot. A little low shot here by Malden. As he comes, he loses his balance. Goes low on Bo here. He's up and okay.
Drive continues. 2nd down. Off to Augustine. About the 8 and no further. And a good tackle by Lucas Cormier coming in, getting back into the lineup for the Redblacks with a key stop there to limit them to a field goal try coming up.
When you play zone coverage, you can look at where the quarterback's eyes are. You see zone coverage here, and it's now time to rally up and make the tackle. Excellent play by Lucas Cormier. That's a huge stop right there to keep a field goal here. And again, another good thing by Bo Levi Mitchell, just putting themselves in a position to get a field goal.
Could be history here for the Ticats franchise off the foot of Mark Leggio. It's out, it's kicked, it's through, and that is 25 straight field goals for Mark Leggio, who passes Luca Conji, and now the all-time leader in field goals made streak. 3 on the board, 7-4, Ottawa leading it. Because of injuries, Drew Brown working with a different center this year in Jacob Ruby, Matthew.
Yeah, Rod, the one time that Drew Brown knew that it was going to go well with Jacob Ruby is when he met him just last year. And Ruby went ahead and chirped him right away. He knew the relationship was going to be productive. But when we talk about a guard or a tackle moving to center, I don't think we appreciate, and Drew Brown said this to me yesterday, how much work it takes, particularly on the communication side. So he's been listening a lot to Ruby. And it's not just about football. It's also been about life, because that relationship, building that cohesion, is very important to Brown. They both talk about what it's like to be fathers, like what it's like to be husbands. And the one thing that Brown said to me yesterday, I just admire a guy who hasn't played that position, works so diligently, and I trust him. Guys.
Jacob Ruby at center. Drew Brown throwing there on 1st down. And Ruby Lapo, the 6th offensive lineman to start the season, but the injury to Peter Godber, Zach Pelios was hurt for a while. Ruby's been a very important part of that old line.
Yeah, Jacob Ruby's a great player that have known. Watch this here. They're trying to figure out what type of clothing to wear for what wristband, which sleeve are you going to wear? And Ruby tells him wear the white sleeve. Yeah, everybody knows that. Nobody likes to wear the whites. The O-linemen don't want to wear the whites. They think they look fat, but I guess if you're in the white pants, you got to wear the white wristband. Jacob Ruby's outstanding pro. I loved working with him.
Among the many roles for a center, fashion consultant too. A flag out as Brown will just throw that one away.
I know Jacob Ruby's wife is expecting their 4th child. They already have 3. He's made Ottawa his home. Yeah, he was a good free agent. I was in Ottawa when we
Legal
signed him.
contact on a receiver, Hamilton, number 97. 10-yard penalty, makes it a first down.
And you could see immediately when he came into the building, we were young at the offensive line. We needed a veteran presence. He brought that immediately. He brought the culture in the meeting rooms. The offensive line is one of the hardest working units. They spend so much time together watching film, being together. He was a great leader in the room. And somebody that the Redblacks can be happy to have as their 6th offensive lineman who's now starting.
So a penalty against Hamilton. So Ottawa ball, little toss inside, but nothing doing there for Khalil Pimpleton. That little pass from Brown, but looks like it'll be no gain and a 2nd and 10 coming up.
You know, I think Tommy Condell talked about this week, about this Redblacks offense. And he's talking about we need to have rhythm. And how do you get rhythm? You don't get the penalties they've gotten the last couple of weeks. And everyone talks about you got to get more big plays. Well, we need first downs. When you have enough first downs, then you can take a couple of shot plays. And that's what you're trying to always do. Make sure you have enough first downs, and eventually there's a shot play on a first down.
Pushing back 2.5 yards on that one, actually, the loss. So a 2nd and long. Brown, and throwing it down, it is caught. Caught around the 46. Keelan White, who has the Ottawa touchdown in this game, and a first down for Ottawa.
Keelan White being one of the favorite targets tonight for him. You can see him sitting in the zone. He'll go up and break inside, but the key to this is the loss of contain. So as the defensive end goes inside, Drew Brown escapes outside. Keelan White finds space, waits for the quarterback to throw the football. Nice job offensively.
3 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown for Keelan White. Brown standing under center, and the handoff. It's for William Stanback. And he's trying to push his way down to around the Hamilton 40.
I would say both football teams doing an excellent job stopping the run, forcing both quarterbacks. You're not going to get a lot of easy runs in this game. We're going to force you into 2nd and medium, 2nd and long.
Ottawa's best game running the football was in Calgary 3 weeks ago. The combination of Stanback and Daniel Adeboboye in just awful weather conditions. To think 3 weeks ago it was +7, windy, rainy, very chilly. Just a much different day for Ottawa coming here to Hamilton when it's over 30 degrees. 2nd and 6. And Brown to the right. Coverage is there on Hardy. To Sean Amos. Right on him like a blanket. That gets knocked down. 3rd down coming up. And the Redblacks do have the wind at their backs. Be a chance to.
Final preparations are underway. Hard to believe we've only seen 1 touchdown in this game so far. We'll get their thoughts on the first half and the Hammer as well. We'll take a look back at the first game of our doubleheader. The first place Calgary Stampeders as we send it back to Rod and Paul. Moose is on the loose.
Thank you, Laura. And yeah, the Stampeders, how about them? Their only loss was to the Redblacks 3 weeks ago. So Ottawa trying to add to their lead late here in the first half. Lewis Ward, 12 for 15 on the season, the longest of 50. This one at 48 with a breeze at his back this time around, but pushes it off to his right and misses it. Here's Isaiah Wooden. He takes it out. 10, 15, 20, and a tackle there by Kenny Onyeka. So Ward with his 4th miss of the season. It remains a 7-4 ball game. Well, he's infiltrating the kitchen to find the restaurant's dirty secrets. Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service. All new Wednesdays on CTV. Stream next day on Crave.
That does not look like a restaurant I want to go to.
I was just going to say.
God.
find those kitchens that wouldn't necessarily pass the inspection. I don't think so. By the way, kudos to Laura and the panel last night, including you, my friend.
Yes.
That's what we call in the business a long fill.
90-minute fill.
For a game that didn't end up being played until today, with Calgary knocking off the Rough Riders at Mosaic. Mitchell to White, 20, 25, and he takes a pop. Coming in there is Ace Healy getting the start at weak side linebacker for the Redblacks in place of the injured Frankie Griffin.
Why completions are so high in the Canadian Football League. 1st and 10, do a lot of motion, run everybody around, then snap it to Bo Levi Mitchell, and he just throws it to Tim White behind line of scrimmage. One blocker, and he gets 7 yards. That's what you want. You want athletic guys on the perimeter. People can block and get the ball out to them, so you're in 2nd and short.
But it has been a different kind of day for this Ticats offense against Ottawa's D. They exploded for yardage last week in Toronto, but 4 points on the board, trailing by 3 with the ball late in the half, handing off and pushing up to around the 35. Johnny Augustine, the ball carrier for the Ticats. That's enough for a Hamilton first down.
Really good push by the offensive line, creating a crease for Johnny to wind back, get north-south, shoulders square for the first down. You can see as multiple personnel changes are going. The Ticats do a lot of tight end sets, Rod. They enjoy covering extra gaps, put multiple players in. Giovanni Robinson does a great job for them using their tight end sets.
Hamilton against the breeze, 2 minutes on the clock, and trying to just dump it down to Augustine. That was dangerous, with Michael Wakefield keeping an eye on him coming in and trying to sniff out an opportunity there on Mitchell.
Screen pass to the right. You're going to see right here recognition that it is a screen by Wakefield. As the linemen go out, he just gets underneath, tries to get a paw on it. He was hoping, Rod, I could maybe tip it up to myself and get that interception return. I don't know.
Hey, we've seen it a few times this season.
Wakefield had a great year last year, tied for first in CFL in sacks.
The big men are getting their touches. Some are getting touchdowns. There's Kenny Lawler. He's getting his touchdowns, 3 of them last week for 200 yards receiving, but a little muted this first half by his standards, but that is good enough for another first down up across the 45. 1:54 in the clock until halftime. And the Ticats looking to, at the very least, see if they can head to the dressing room with a tie game. Maybe more. They need that patented Bo Levi Mitchell deep throw. Big play. Steps up, escapes the pocket, and Bo just takes a slide. Wisely just goes down before any of the Redblacks can get to him, and we do call that a business decision, don't we, Coach?
Well, you know, I said this before. I talked to Bo last year at Grey Cup, and he was like, he was told, I got to run more. I got to run more. He said, what do you mean? I'm going to throw a quarterback. There are opportunities to run with a football. When everybody's covered, go ahead and run. Because everybody's going to play coverage against Bo Levi Mitchell. They're not going to expect him to run. Help us. There's a huge difference between converting on 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 10. And that's just those little 3 yards put you in a position to do that. It's a good run.
Yeah, got over 3 yards there. 2nd down and 7, we'll call it, from the Hamilton 49. And he does check it down. Again, it's Keandre Smith. He gets it up. Well, still shy of a first down by a couple of yards. About to the 54, we'll call it. A 3rd down and 2 coming up. 1:18 on the clock. Do you think about this?
No, I don't think so. It's a long 2. You're in a position where, like, you got Litre as your quarterback wedge guy. I just think you're going to, this late in the game, you're going to punt it and force the Redblacks. You can run as much time as you, try to run as much time as you can down on this punt, and then force the Redblacks to go the length of the field.
Each of these teams were involved in explosive play games last week. Hamilton and Toronto. Ottawa and Edmonton, where Khalil Pimpleton returned one for a touchdown.
And you can see that right now. Situational football. Punt team isn't even on the ball. They're going to let this go all the way down to 2 seconds when they snap this to take as much, put this under 1 minute left in the game.
One of 2 returners back for Ottawa. It is Pimpleton. The top of your screen, he's coming in about the 18 to take it. And here we go as he runs out of room around the 29 after a 38-yard punt for Nick Constantinu. 47 seconds on the clock. Laura, Enoch, Ches, and they had no trouble talking a lot of football last night with Paul Lapalisse in the studio as well.
Yeah, hey, we get paid to coach football, talk football. That's nothing better. Talking football, talking plays, everything. Oh, it's excellent.
We'll head to Laura in the panel coming up. Halftime getting closer. Earlier in the day, they got the game in when the air quality finally improved enough to play at Mosaic in Regina. And it was the Rough Riders suffering their first loss of the season. Calgary, first in the West at 4-1. 7-4 the score here. And on a draw, that's Daniel Adeboboye, and working his way up across the 35, a second and short coming up. 40 seconds to go until halftime.
Why do you run the ball here in this situation with about 50 seconds left? There's two ways to go. You run it here, and if you pop a big run, if it goes for a first down or if it goes for 15 yards, now you can say, okay, we can flip the field. Let's try to get in field goal range. Here is a little bit more conservative.
And Pimpleton just gets pushed back after that catch. Jamal Peters coming in to blow up that play. You see him without his helmet on now, looking exasperated. But
made a couple of physical plays tonight. Jamal Peters. See a little screen pass at the bottom. Two players blocking for Pimpleton, but Hardy just kind of waits for him. You got to go attack him. It's very hard when these DBs recognize the screen. You can't cut him anymore. You used to be able to cut him, so those guys can run up, but that's a big hit on Hardy to stop. All you want to do on these screen passes is stop the receiver's feet. Make him not go north-south. Jamal Peters' physicality couple of times tonight.
20 seconds on the clock. Richie Leone is going to be sending it Isaiah Wooden's way. Last time he got the ball, he had a return of over 40 yards. So many dangerous returners in the CFL, and he's proving to be one of them. High snap for Leone, who brings it down, and a shorter driving punt, which is taken off the hop by Wooden, and he gets a little pop by Cumberbatch, or excuse me, Bennett Williams, just as he's heading out of bounds. So not much damage there in the final play of the first half. Certainly not a points explosion like the Ticats had in Toronto last week, Lapo. Just 11 points on the board, but the Ottawa defense doing well. The Ottawa Redblacks offense certainly doing well at the start in that opening drive.
And you talked about the beginning of the game. Drew Brown, his ability to use plays with his legs is what we've talked about tonight. Here he pulls this ball down, protects the throw, finds Keelan White for the touchdown. He's done that a couple of times as he's done it, and I really love what this Redblacks defense has done. Really minimize the big plays for the Hamilton Ticats.
Keelan White, won't forget that touchdown. He is standing by. And now with Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, Keelan, as Rob was just saying, your first touchdown as a Redblack, as that ball was coming to you, were you just looking at it and make sure you secured it in your hands and not drop it?
Yeah, I was just trying to lock it in. I knew I was in the end zone already, so I was just trying to secure the catch and, get the touchdown. So, yeah.
What kind of education has it been to be alongside guys in the receiver room like Justin Hardy and Gina Lewis?
It's been huge, yeah. They're good vets. They've been a long time in the league, so they got a lot of experience, and they've done a great job of helping me out. It's been awesome.
Appreciate this. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, Laura, the Ticats offense isn't humming the way it did last week in Toronto. They're down 3.
Yeah, here we are thinking we're...
Halftime in Hamilton, and the Redblacks leading the Ticats 7-4.
2 points. The defense holding this high-powered offense to net 165 yards, 37 yards rushing. But I want to go off the stats. Ottawa's got 0 penalties for 0 yards, obviously. Last week, 11 penalties. Hey, and the biggest thing, last week the Redblacks, 2nd and 7+, so 2nd and long, they were 1 of 12 in the game. That's not a good percentage, Rod. 8% conversions tonight. 5 of 8, 63%. Why? Not getting the penalties on 2nd down. Really good play by the Redblacks. Fixing what ailed them last week is too many penalties.
And the game's the thing for Bo Levi Mitchell, 128 yards passing. That said, he's 165 yards shy of moving into the top 10 all time in the CFL. Standing by now with Matthew.
When you look at that first half, Bo, there isn't a lot between the two teams offensively in time of possession, but what's the key to attacking the Redblacks in the second half?
Just get out of our own way, just continue to move the ball up the field. They're trying to get deep, take everything away, so when we're getting things down low in zone coverage, just got to break tackles, get vertical. I just got to be on it with the ball and make sure our guys have a chance to get up there.
Weather is the same for everybody, but any effect with the humidity and how heavy the air is?
Oh, no, it feels great.
Thanks for this. Rod?
From Katy, Texas, Matthew. Nothing wrong with this heat. Over 30 degrees. He'll certainly take it. And the Redblacks, well, 3-point lead to start the second half. Now, they had deferred, so they're going to get the wind in the fourth quarter. They're going to get the ball right now as Hamilton kicks off. Excuse me, the Ticats are getting the wind in the fourth quarter, so Ottawa has it now, and here's a return by Khalil Pimpleton. And a good one, too, across midfield. He's still going. Khalil Pimpleton, little straight arm there on Katsantonis. What a way to start the second half for the Ottawa Redblacks on a 60-yard return by Khalil Pimpleton.
Quick, short space quickness, having the ability to pick your feet up and down, and move laterally quickly. That's what Pimpleton can do. The lower center of gravity strength. He's got great lower body strength. He can make people miss. But the biggest thing, you want guys who really got the ability to make the first guy miss and then just keep going. Watch this power of the lower body. Another explosive play, adding to this big play total in the special teams game for this Redblacks team.
And you talked about in the first half, how important is he with the injury to Devontae Dedmon and doing the double duty, a regular on their offense and on special teams as well, and a big return for Khalil Pimpleton.
You love guys who pick their legs up and don't get tackled by the first guy. I'm going to throw a name that's going to make me really old. Roger Craigett. We used to talk about Roger Craigett through the hole, the way that guy used to run.
That was a while ago. It doesn't make me feel old, though. On the throw and first down, and the coverage is there. Reggie Stubblefield and Andre Miller. Stubblefield in his first game back since Montreal opening night over a year ago. 400 days in his debut with the Ticats.
Yeah, knocked down and a good play on a big receiver, making a play coming over the top. They're in zone coverage as Drew looks back to find the play. Stubblefield over the top, and he doesn't get a penalty. Sometimes you get too close, you're going to make contact too early. So good stop, force second and long.
And the first look to Andre Miller starting in the slot for Braylon Addison tonight. Just chucking it up towards the end zone for Gino Lewis. Oh, he got his fingertips on it. He's trying to sell that he caught it, but it did hit the turf. But Eugene Lewis was that close to another touchdown in one-on-one coverage there, just inches away in a bubble.
Drew buys some time, sees that Eugene Lewis is in a one-on-one situation on Peters. Eugene does a good job going up to high point it, but Peters just enough with his hands to kind of put his eyes off target. Almost made the second on the recovery catch. Nice high hands, nice high point for the ball, just didn't make it.
That close for Gino Lewis from the 40. Lewis Ward out and down and kicked. And that's for the Ottawa field goal. He's 1 for 2 in the night. Gets that field goal, 3 on the board very quickly. It nearly was
almost
more.
Tipped it to himself.
Got to admire him for the sales pitch, though.
I'm Trevor Harris.
Gary Peters.
Winton McManus.
Curly Gittens Jr.
This is Stanley Brown.
You'd be silly to not draft me.
Make sure you draft me.
Success on offense comes from executing your plays correctly. A little bit of high snap, they lose it, puts them in extra yardage, check down, drops. Kenny Lawler, big throw on the outside for a first down that would have put him in field goal range. Another drop here. Johnny Augustine replacing Greg Bell this week. So they just got to do the little things right. You got to look the ball into your hands. You got to make the catches so you can stay on schedule. Redblacks defense done a really good job forcing these guys into second and long in Hamilton.
Second half begins for Bo Levi Mitchell on the toss to the right to Johnny Augustine. Across the 40 to about the 43 for a second and long coming up. Javon Santos Knox among the Redblacks in on the tackle.
The toss play to the outside to get Johnny Augustine some space, but Santos Knox, former Ticat, former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, done a really good job on the inside running that down. You want a middle linebacker, just run, create space, run all the way to the sideline, make that tackle.
Up to the 42.5 now. Mitchell has mentioned 165 yards shy of passing Tracy Hammond, moving into 10th all-time in CFL passing yards. Four-man rush. He throws, adds to his total there. On the catch by Tim White. Gets that one inside the Ottawa 45. And a big first down to start the second half for the Tiger Cats.
A little bit of motion motion, and then this is what's called a bend post, where you read the underneath linebacker. As the linebacker expands, here's the hole. You throw it with anticipation before the halfback or the free safety can make the play. Both seen it 100 times. Great throw to Tim White. Great first down.
23 more yards for Bo Levi Mitchell. Tim White on the receiving end there in a 1st and 10 from the Ottawa 44. Deep look towards the end zone. Touchdown, Kenny Lawler. Ridiculous. Lawler does it again.
It's a beautiful thing when you have a receiver that you trust, and when you have a one-on-one situation, you're going to take that one-on-one matchup. There it is. He high points the ball. We talk about it. This is the best guy in the CFL of finding the ball and catching it in any body position possible. High points it, makes this play. One-on-ones. They talk about 50-50 balls. I don't think so. I think it's 80-20. He's going to make it 80% of the time. Bo can trust to throw it up. Great play by Kenny Lawler.
Wow, when he is on, he just looks like he can't be covered. C.J. Colden was right there, all over him. 89 comes down with it again. The point after is missed by Leggio as Pimpleton takes a knee. Second missed extra point for Leggio this year, but he does have the field goal streak intact. How about Kenny Lawler? What an addition to the Tiger Cats offense. We saw a lot of it last week in Toronto. We just saw it here.
Yeah, and what they did is they put him as a single receiver over to the side to give him an opportunity. And again, Colton's in a good position. We saw this last week, Rod. DB's in great position, but he gets an opportunity. You want a big receiver who can make plays with the ball in his hands. You want a big target you can throw up to. So the bigger DBs you got, the more opportunities they have to knock this ball down. But Kenny Lawler's a big target. Throw it up to him. Interesting.
Well, that's just one sample and one from this year. Look what else he's done. You can relate to this. You once coached him in Winnipeg, but here's a bit of his work here with the Edmonton Elks as well, right back at the dead ball line.
You talk about great receivers, right? Have great hand-eye coordination. The ball never breaks the plane of their eyes. He's one of the best in the business I've ever coached at seeing the ball into his hands every time and making those plays.
We're talking about Hamilton GM Ted Gavaya moving over from Winnipeg, knowing Lawler well and had the chance to sign him, and what a signing it's turned out to be for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as they tie this game to the touchdown and no conversion. 10-10 is the score, and Leggio is to kick off from the Hamilton 30. All even again as Bo Levi Mitchell and Kenny Lawler do their thing. Back to the Redblacks, back to Pimpleton. Had a 60-yarder just a few minutes ago. That one he gets out. Another good return for Khalil Pimpleton, though, across the Ottawa 40.
The best thing about this catch is how long he didn't put his hands up early, Rod. When you put your hands up early, the defensive backs know the ball's going to be there. They're going to shoot their through the hands to make the play. He waited as long as possible. The ball was there so he can make that catch. That's clinic wide receiver play. And the other thing I like Scott Milanovic did is Kenny Lawler had a tight end to his side. Robinson was lined up as a tight end. What's the big deal about that? It allowed him to get a waggle. He could attack the line of scrimmage to get behind the defensive back.
Ottawa ball, tie game, faking the handoff and throwing and caught. Gino Lewis. Talk about great receivers. Ottawa has one too in his first year with the Redblacks, and he has a catch to get across midfield and a first down for Ottawa.
First downs on first downs is what great offenses do. Okay, you'll see Gino Lewis here. Everybody's going to expand. This is what you call the zone read play. The end crashes, pull it outside. As he sits down in that zone as people expand, easy first down.
William Stanback with the ball and is just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. They were scrimmaging at the Hamilton 53. This is what happened with William Stanback.
A little bit under center once again, faking a speed sweep and then pitching it outside, but no chance there. Why? Because Casey Sales did not fall for the speed sweep action. He played his width, was able to make a play, turn, Stanback back on the inside.
Stanback remains in the backfield on a 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. Quickly. And coming in is Lewis. Has the catch, keeps his feet, and enough for another first down. Great work after the catch by Geno Lewis on that play.
Recognizing coverage is one of the most important things for a quarterback, and then locating the football. This is a blitz look. Look how quickly and accurately this ball goes to Geno Lewis. Hits him right in the hands, and you can run away from that one-on-one defender. I love that Drew saw the blitz, and he immediately threw it and located. When you locate it, it's going to be a first down because it's a catch and run. Great throw into the blitz by the Ticats defense. One of their adjustments in the second half, start blitzing.
He's starting to rack up yardage now, 4 catches for 72. First down, Brown with time. Looks deep, left for Lewis. No, it's intercepted. First time Drew Brown has been intercepted. It's Jamal Peters right there with Lewis that time. And he stayed in front of him. And as that ball came down, it was in the hands of number 2, Peters, for a big turnover down near the Ticats end zone. Finally, a takeaway of Drew Brown. Hamilton football in a 10-10 tie.
A little bit of a screen pass. We're going to fake a block, go to the middle of the field. We're going to fake a block and then go deep. Jamal Peters understands it, stays high, stays deep. And as Geno Lewis goes there, you've got him making his 2nd interception of the season. It's underthrown a little bit. You got to throw it out there. If you're going to make that shot, throw it outside. We just talked about size at the cornerback position. 6'1" versus 6'1", underthrown. Should be an interception. Jamal Peters 2nd. Drew Brown's 1st of the season.
As the Redblacks were trying for their own big play to a big play receiver, but no, it's picked off and it's on the ground on a 1st and 10. Johnny Augustine, the ball carrier, he is going nowhere. Redblacks have that all stuffed up. Maybe a loss of a yard and a 2nd and long coming up.
And that's the thing for the Redblacks have given up 100 yards rushing, 104 yards rushing this season. So they've done Johnny Augustine's a talented back. I get, Greg Bell's not playing, but Johnny Augustine has done a lot of damage in the Canadian Football League as a runner. Redblacks defense standing up against the run.
Well, depending on what happens here in this big 2nd down, that pick could be just about as good as a well-placed punt down at the 4. Ticats hemmed in deep. Bo Levi Mitchell from his end zone. Looks off to the left, and no, it's high for Augustine. So the Ticats will have to punt it away from their end zone, and Ottawa's about to get the ball back and should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, punting, and there looks like the wind's picked up a little bit, so they're going to be punting into the wind. So again, this is the quarter for the Redblacks. When you've got the wind at your back, you should get great field position, and you want to keep the ball as long as you can. You want to run as many plays because you should keep winning the field position battle.
Pimpleton is back, along with Darius Pickett, just inside midfield in the Hamilton zone for Nick Constantino, needing to get a good one away here, at least 10 yards deep in the Ticats end zone. Approaching the halfway point of the 3rd quarter. Coming in for it, Pimpleton at the 47. Runs into Eric Cumberbatch, and the coverage is good by the Ticats after a punt of 41 down to the 41. On a gorgeous night in Hamilton, 10-10 tie, Redblacks ball.
Hey.
This game tonight featuring 2 of the top 3 picks in the 2025 CFL draft. Going 2nd overall, Devin Verisuk, starting in the middle of that Ticats defense, and Keelan White, who picked up his first CFL touchdown earlier in this game, Lapo.
Nick Mardner, 1st-round pick last year for the Ottawa Redblacks, gets injured early in training camp. Keelan White has to step in, and he's been spectacular for this team. Bob Dice said that. He's like, I need to make sure, hey, I know guys get injured, but we're happy for the young guys to get plays.
And number 1 pick, Damian Alford, got his 2nd touchdown catch of the season earlier today in Saskatchewan in Calgary's win. Ball comes out, And now they're chasing after. The Ticats had said that it was theirs, but no, Ottawa does get it back. Speaking of Keelan White, after that ball was fumbled, so a good break for the Redblacks. Get it down inside the Hamilton 40, actually picking up a couple of yards. Another look at what happened here on that running play when the ball came out.
Yeah, and the other draft pick we're talking about is involved a little bit. You see him trying to get in and make a play. Varasek is trying to get in on that tackle. Devin Varasek, knee is down though by contact.
So a 2nd and 5. Redblacks, they're about at the same point of the field when Brown threw that interception before. Throwing again, open. Well, pick this time. It's Eugene Lewis again. Another big reception inside the 10. We got a 1st and goal coming up here for Ottawa.
Geno Lewis bends inside. You're going to see him come here, but you're also going to see the linebacker run out. Good recognition by the quarterback. See Ray Wilborn, he's expanding. Once he expands, you throw right behind him, find Geno Lewis, but great anticipation. Quarterbacks need to throw with anticipation. That's the anticipation you want inside the red zone.
1st and goal from the 9. Ottawa looking to take the lead again. It's tied at 10. They've got the wind at their back. Brown getting chased, getting buried there. That's Mario Kendricks with another sack, his 4th of the season, and a big time to get it too as it pushes Ottawa back in a goal to go.
The difficult thing sometimes playing guard is you have to set inside so you don't prevent the lane when 3 people slide over here. You're going to see right guard Darius Blaydick as the center slides away. He's got to get better inside position. You cannot give up that inside seam. Mario Hendricks makes him pay for that. Huge sack. Back the Redblacks up.
And that's his 5th sack in 7 games going back to last year. 4th on the season now. 2nd and goal a long ways away. Pimpleton takes it inside the 10 and finally knocked down. He stopped at about the 7, and a 3rd and goal is coming up as they tried to get Pimpleton in space and see if he could do the rest to get into the end zone. Got much closer, but still a field goal scenario now for Lewis Ward coming on.
Nice safe play for, if you're watching, you say, wait, I saw receivers blocking downfield. How can you block downfield on the pass? This was a pass that was behind the line of scrimmage. It's a safe play. Get the ball in the playmaker's hands so we ensure that we can finish this drive with a kick.
Lewis Ward 1 for 2, made in his last try. This one, chip shot. Up and through, 3 on the board. Ottawa leads again. So after that interception was thrown, Ottawa comes back and does take the lead. Kenny Lawler, he's got Hamilton's touchdown tonight. Yet another for the new Ticat. Magic by Kenny Lawler, new Ticat, but they're getting awfully used to seeing this as he hauls in that touchdown earlier in this half. High points it, brings it down, makes it look easy, but he certainly pays a price, Matthew.
Yeah, you know what? It is magic when you look at it on the field level, too. But I was speaking to Kenny Lawler last week, actually, when he was going up against DeMonte Coxie and how their rivalry was. And you can see tonight, Geno Lewis is stacking him up just as Kenny Lawler is. And Lawler was saying to me, and Lapo, you pointed this out, when the ball is coming to him, he's looking at it. Sure, he likes to fake DBs with the way he moves his head, but he says the key to what I do is when the ball is in the air, my eyes are locked on it. And last week, if you remember, Lawler actually dislocated his finger on one play. Didn't bother him, came back, scored 2 more touchdowns, and tonight when he came off, gashed his arm. And I asked him last week, what is it about when that ball's in the air that you're looking at it and about your body? And he said, I don't care about anything else. I just want the ball, guys.
And he most often gets it. Play action fake here. Mitchell throwing completed to Keandre Smith coming across, first down and more. Smith just across midfield and close to the Ottawa 50.
Misdirection under center. Keandre Smith coming across the formation after a little play action fake as the coverage lifts. Bo just checks it down. Outflank the defense. Nice throw and catch for a first down. That's like the 4th time I've seen quarterbacks under center. It is 1989. I'm fired up to see guys under center run.
Not used to seeing this,
Not used to seeing that.
I'm going to ask you about that. That's 214 yards passing for Bo Levi Mitchell, by the way. And he fakes the toss, and then he tosses it that way anyway. And that's Ward, Rashawn Ward. And he picks up hard-fought 3-4 yards.
Talking about Kenny Lawler, so I'm in Winnipeg as the offensive coordinator, and Kenny Lawler, you know, the scouts come to you and say, hey, here are his NFL cuts. Kenny came as an NFL cut later in the season. So usually they bring you a bunch of guys, and Rod, they're usually not any good, right? Like some of the guys are good, and they always play up, this guy's amazing, this guy's amazing. So I watch him after practice. He made like a couple of catches, like no big deal, nobody. And then he made 2 spectacular catches on his first day, and I'm like, wow, this guy's going to be pretty good.
And here we are. And there's another catch for the Ticats down around the 40, and that is Kenny Lawler again.
And again, hand-eye coordination. You talk about who sees the ball in his hands. It doesn't matter. He's moving to his left. He's got the ability to reach back and make this catch. So it's behind him. You see his head follow the ball. Ball never breaks the plane of his eyes.
Treshaun Ward is the ball carrier as he has to break a tackle from Darius Pickett. It'll be second down coming out, but you look at the numbers. We've seen the highlights and what Kenny Lawler is doing. 200-yard-plus games. He had one against the Argos last week, 3 in his career, and he's moving on up. And those are Hall of Fame names. Just with him at 3, of course, with Milton G-Roy Simon. But Brian Kelly, I remember him with Edmonton back in late 70s, early 80s. What a remarkable receiver he was.
Yeah, and he certainly had, you know, his first season with me in 2019, we didn't throw the ball a lot. We were running the football. So he had that, and he also had a year in Edmonton where they weren't throwing the ball very well successfully. So he's done it. It's an amazing feat for the short time he's been in the league and the names you just saw. Milt Stegall, G-Roy Simon, Darren Flutie, some of the best that's ever played in the game. And I'm sure his name will be echeloned into that down the road.
That's a Hall of Fame list right there.
Hall of Fame hair, too, Rod.
He does.
Hall of Fame hair.
Bridges with the catch. And, yeah, I mean, that's good company. Terry Greer was second on that list, by the way. And he didn't have as many seasons in the CFL with the Argos of the early 80s, but another one. It was just spectacular. 200-plus yards in a game and receiving like Lawler did last week. Here's Mark Leggio on. Gets the breeze from 40 yards out to tie this game up again. Put down by Constantino Leggio. That streak continues. Up to 26 now, the all-time leader in field goals, consecutive field goals made by the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Leggio. Women's champion was today victory for Iga Swiatek. It is the men's final. One many thought we would see. Jannik Sinner up against Alcaraz, and Wimbledon continues tomorrow with that championship at 11 Eastern. The men's final, 8 a.m. Pacific on TSN. Carlos Alcaraz, who beat Sinner in a, I don't know if you saw that one, 5-setter when Alcaraz came behind in the French Open. What a championship. You can wake up breakfast at Wimbledon and watch that one between the top 2 in men's tennis. 13-13 out at the 40. 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Redblack football. Drew Brown throwing again over the middle, going for Eugene Lewis. You know, you got a night where you got 89 Lawler and 87 Lewis, and for this generation, 2 of the top receivers we've seen, and they're putting on a show tonight. Lewis racks up another. He's over 100 yards receiving.
Play action to help freeze the linebackers, and you put your big receiver behind him, get a little space, locate the ball so Amos can't make a play. We started off the top of the show. Who'd we talk about? Kenny Lawler and Eugene Lewis. Why? Because they're 2 of the best in the business.
Just inside midfield for Hamilton is Justin Hardy after the catch. Good work by Hardy. Got a short pass, works it all the way down. Yeah, he just won't go down. Those Ticats there in a bunch. He gets inside the Hamilton 40.
First down on first downs. That's what the Redblacks are doing so much better than last week. This was a screen pass. What does that mean? A throw behind the line of scrimmage. Receivers, you block, get the ball in space to Hardy. He circles the defense with great blocking. Gets around the defense for the first down.
There's Reggie Stubblefield in his first start with the Ticats. Strong side linebacker, and that handoff to William Stanback, getting it down to the Hamilton 35.
And this is the rhythm. I heard Tommy Condell this weekend do an interview, and he just said, hey, we need better rhythm. We need to stay on the field. When we stay on the field, more people can touch the football, more plays can happen. And the thing I always used to talk about Tommy Condell is when that guy has a lot of time, he's a crazy dude. He's going to run a million different plays, different formations. He's hard to deal with when he has a lot of opportunities to call plays. So you want to minimize those. Not happening tonight. That's why they're in rhythm.
He was a fixture here in Hamilton for years, calling plays for the Ticats. Brown throws, completes another one. That is inside the 25. And using Gino Lewis to perfection as the Redblacks drive their way right back down, looking to take the lead again.
When you got a guy you trust, you take him on the one-on-one whenever you have it. Into the boundary here as Justin Hardy lifts the coverage. Says, okay, everybody's lifted. Everybody stayed inside. Let me throw it to Gino on the outside before anybody can expand. Great diving down to make that play. It's a good response after the field goal by the Ticats.
128 receiving on 7 catches for Eugene Lewis. Here comes Ottawa, last play, third quarter, breaking through. Here we go, 10-5, touchdown, William Stenbeck. And the Redblacks end the quarter with their second touchdown of the night. And they have the lead again. What a run by William Stenbeck for his second rushing touchdown of the season.
This is the second time you're going to see a big pressure. The second time you're going to see all these guys standing at the line of scrimmage. When you blitz, you put yourself in difficult situations. Hauser misses. And when you blitz and bring everybody, there's no second level players. That's how Stenbeck, he makes the first one miss, goes in for the touchdown. So you're gonna, sometimes when you blitz, it's gonna hurt you if you do not make the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we talked a lot about Hamilton's free agent acquisitions. How about Ottawa's? The big names, of course, Gino Lewis and that man. Coming over from the BC Lions after several great years in Montreal. William Stenbeck, Ottawa Redblack. And that rumble into the end zone, heading to the fourth quarter, and the Redblacks are leading it by a touchdown. Oh, we got a ball game here at Hamilton Stadium. It's the Redblacks taking the 20-13 lead through 3 quarters. Lapo, for all the talk of the passing plays with these offenses, the quarter ends with a big running play.
Yeah, huge run by William Stenbeck. And again, let's talk about this stat before. 18-1 teams that win games when you're 18-1 after you've winning heading into the fourth quarter. The only win all season last week, BC Lions. So Ottawa's got to continue to do what they're doing. They're moving the ball. They're in rhythm. They're making plays, and they're doing a good job against Bo Levi Mitchell.
Well, let's take another look at that touchdown here for Ottawa and what went right for the Redblacks and Stenbeck here.
So what you see is you're going to see all these defenders running over to this side of the field. You're going to see a pressure situation, and then the blitz, you'll see how Hauser, he's got to stay, he's got a blitzer outside him. Right there, he should have taken William Stenbeck because he had a blitzer outside. He doesn't have to play contained. He went too wide. He should have come down the line of scrimmage and made that play. Once you make one person miss, there's no second-level players when you blitz. That's why you kind of live or die by the sword when you pressure. That's okay. You can see William Stenbeck. All he has to do is break that tackle, and you'll see right there, he just doesn't have a good enough angle. He bends too far. He's got to come flatter down the line of scrimmage, and Hauser would have made that tackle. But it's tough to tackle some of these big running backs, Rod. They got low center of gravity. I already mentioned Roger Craig, and nobody watching knows who Roger Craig is, but that's a guy who can pick his legs up and go.
Mitchell, first down Hamilton now, and that's for Tim White. Tries to go up and high point it there with Amari Henderson right with him. And that's incomplete. Second down coming up. This is after a return up to the 39 by Isaiah Wood.
One of the few shot plays today Bo Levi Mitchell's taken. All right, as they go, you're going to see Amari Henderson, the halfback, right there shows up at the 50-yard line, and he does a good job of playing. He's a low player. What does that mean? He's an underneath player zone. He carries as the route goes deep and goes to make a play.
Another big second down here for the Redblacks defense, trying to get back in the win column. They come in with a record of 1-4. They're leading this one, fourth quarter. Mitchell to throw to the right. Coming back to the ball, Tyler Ternowski, product of the University of Waterloo. He has the catch, still shy of a first down, though. Very short, about 4 yards away, and the punting unit comes on.
And that's a product of the D-line for the Redblacks. The push from the front four, Wakefield, Carter, Cleon Lang, Malden, moved Bo Levi Mitchell off his spot. If he did not have to move to his right, this ball is thrown on time, and it's a first down once he goes off his spot. it's going to turn into a shorter game.
Well, Bob Dice, Will Fields, the defensive coordinator for the Redblacks, has to be happy with the way his team has responded so far in this one against a high-powered Hamilton offense. 20-13, Ottawa leads. Pimpleton chased back to the 5, finds a seam, finds some room, keeps his feet, and he is still going. A flag comes out. Khalil Pimpleton, can he do it again? Heading in for another punt return touchdown, and we will wait for the flag and see if it's coming back.
Well, I'd keep this guy as a punt returner, Rod.
During the
Let
return,
him play.
illegal block, Ottawa number 42.
Let this guy play receiver
First down, Ottawa.
and DB and get receiver and returner and give him a break after return. How about that? Because he is explosive. 3 players he made miss by breaking tackles, throwing them off him.
I was going to say, he was exciting to watch, even on a return that doesn't end up counting. The block by James Peter, and that pushes Ottawa back to begin their drive. No touchdown there for Pimpleton.
I was thinking about Ottawa, and maybe I jinxed them. This is the first, after 11 penalties last week, this is the first penalty they've had in the game. And, one of the big things Coach Dice talked about is, like, we can't have the preventable penalties. And what are preventable penalties? Penalties where you're offsides, your procedure, you're doing things. It's one thing when you block in the back. It's one thing when you grab a guy's face mask. When it's preventable, it's a pre-snap. It's usually your own error, not during the field of play.
Well, Bob Dice has thrown a challenge flag on that penalty thrown.
Ottawa is challenging the call the legal block on the kick return. The play will be reviewed.
Bob Dice telling the referee, Tim Croker, about that. So the replay center will have a look at the play made by James Peter and whether or not it should have been a penalty, because if it gets overturned, that's an Ottawa touchdown. The replay center reviewing that, going over that kickoff again. And they'll make a decision on that. Right there, 42 Ottawa. We'll have a decision coming up.
At OK Tire, we can fix your pickup. We can fix things that pick up your pickup. And we can even fix things that pick up.
Up at the top of the screen, right, you're going to see James Peter. Right here, you're going to see a collision. And the collision looks to be part of it is in the back. If you see the shoulder is in the back. So I'm not sure if this is going to get overturned.
Well, let's find out from the replay center.
After review by the replay center, the ruling on the field stands. Ottawa, by losing its challenge, has lost the timeout. First down.
Well, that was James Peter on Ryan Baker. It was close. Let's look at it again, Paul. Was it the back? Was it the side?
They really just say, hey, if you have anything that is close to being in the back part of his body, they are going to call that.
It certainly helped spring Pimpleton on that, what would have been a touchdown run brought back by penalty. So back to the 15 and a 1st and 10, Ottawa in their own zone. And it's up there, and it's intercepted by Jamal Peters again. He has his second interception of the game. Second one this season thrown by Drew Brown, intended for the running backs, bringing out Daniel Adeboboye. But another turnover, and Hamilton, after this one, is in much better shape.
Once again, a second underneath throw. Adeboboye on the outside. Daniel Peters running with him. He gets behind him. Just underthrown by Drew Brown. Drew Brown's kind of looking to see. When you're throwing that ball, you're trying to say, do we have a matchup we like? Do we run by? He did run right by him. He just didn't get enough on it. It's underthrown, intercepted.
So here we go. Hamilton football in the Ottawa zone at the Red Black 43 on the second pick of the night for Jamal Peters and the third of the season for number 2. Back to Bo Levi Mitchell now. Handing off at first down. And he leaped leaping on that carry and down a first down to about the 30 of the Red Blacks.
Pressure once again. You got two blitzers off the outside. Really good block by the center. Woodmansey creates a huge seam. Bo has to hand this ball off because of the pressure. But when you pressure and bring people outside, look at the size of this hole. They can stay on this double team. Why? Because everybody's out there. He takes it and goes. Nice execution. Good read by the quarterback, handing the ball off.
Back in the ground again. And that is Johnny Augustine, and he's going nowhere, loses a couple of yards. It's Bryce Carter in there on the tackle for the Redblacks after that big gain by 34, Andy Litre. So they try the running play again. It sets up a second down and long now after a loss of about a half a yard.
Augustine has 6 carries, 21 yards. Good couple runs for Johnny.
Tough sledding inside. Greg Bell, #1 running back, injured and out. Second and call it 10. Mitchell, end zone. No, Tim White there, and right with him is Amari Henderson. Lots of Redblacks around as it falls incomplete. And now a third down. They've got the breeze at their backs here in the fourth quarter for Mark Leggio, who has missed an extra point but remains perfect this season in the field goal department. And has a streak now of 26 straight field goals.
Another big stop here, holding the Hamilton Tiger Cats to a field goal, and another field position battle. The Hamilton Tiger Cats are first in Canadian Football League, Rod, in score zone or red zone touchdowns. They've got 89% touchdowns here, so another field goal stop outside of the red zone. Huge for this Redblacks team.
Leggio from 37. That one is good. He's 3 for 3 on the night. He's 12 for 12 in the season. And he is the longest field goal consecutive streak in Ticats history. Hamilton Stadium, fourth quarter, and just a 4-point Ottawa lead. Got a finish coming up here in Hamilton. The Redblacks lead, but they're losing the turnover.
You're not drunk right now, no?
I am not.
No.
I am not.
Okay, good. Good to know.
But I appreciate you asking. There's something with my call. Oh, coming in, and a good tackle on that play. That is Reggie Stubblefield. Welcome to the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and welcome back to the CFL. His first game in the black and gold after a long time away with a knee injury.
Hardest thing of playing the strong side linebacker is you have to chase players. You're going to see 2 players go across the field. What do you got to do? You got to chase them across the field. Watch Reggie Stubblefield come across. Knows this ball's going to be thrown. He's going to be unblocked. He rallies, makes the tackle for a loss of yardage. Put the Redblacks in second and long. Very difficult position that strong side linebacker. Got to chase across the field.
Stubblefield tackles Pimpleton. And Hauser is early moving there, and Zach Pelias, and a flag does come out and appears to be an offside. Oh, let's see. They'll discuss it. Now the Ticats think he was drawn off by Pelias. Making his season debut is Zach Pelias, a right tackle. And Hauser said he was drawn.
And Pelios' return, it allows them to play an American at the free safety position.
Procedure. Ottawa number 52. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, a penalty there for Zach Pelias, but they have been missing him on that offensive line, drafted second overall back in 2022. You were involved in that.
Yes, I was. I remember watching his tape. He hadn't played a lot of football, but the games he played, physicality, effort, great feet. Thought this guy would be a starter at tackle or guard in our league.
Second and 19. That is caught. by Justin Hardy. Gets it up to about the 43. Not nearly enough for a first down. So momentum swinging fourth quarter. The Ticats with a bit of a breeze. 9:14 on the clock, a 3rd and 7 coming up here for Ottawa as the Redblacks are trying to hang on to a 4-point lead. And how big is this for Bob Dice especially? Now the Ticats, Scott Milanovic, are 2-2, but 2-0 so far against division rivals. Trying to make it 3-0 tonight. The Redblacks have already lost to Montreal and lost to Toronto, so really not wanting to fall behind 0-3 within their division. Off the hop, that's taken at the 30. Isaiah Wooden after a punt of 43 by Richie Leone. Bo Levi Mitchell, 235 yards passing, 20 for 32, and a touchdown toss to Kenny Lawler. The UEFA Women's Euro continues tomorrow as the Netherlands plays France at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN and CTV. At the same time, England goes against Wales, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN. UEFA Women's Euro. Back here in Hamilton. As week 6 continues, it will end in Edmonton tomorrow with the BC Lions and the Edmonton Elks. Right now it is 20-16 Ottawa. Hamilton with the ball and a low one there for Kenny Lawler. And what's the ruling here? Redblacks thinking it got trapped against the turf, and it is indeed coming back to the original line of scrimmage. No catch.
Personal flip. Quick, easy throw to Kenny in the flat. Just missed it a little bit.
And he still looks disappointed he didn't get the catch there, as it stands he has 4 of them for 72 yards and one very memorable catch for a touchdown earlier this half. Scott Milanovic trying to get his team over 500. They started 0-2. They've won their most recent 2. Blitz coming, and Mitchell has time. Chucks it deep for Tim White, a bit too far. Couple of yards ahead of him, or else the Ticats would have had another big passing play. But it's a 2 and out and a 3rd down coming up.
Big pickup. You're going to see pressure from the pressure, and the Ticats got to handle the pressure. There's Santos Knox coming up inside, allows Bo to climb the pocket. But this is what the Redblacks defense have done all game. You've got to stop them on 1st down, put them in 2nd and long. They struggle, the Ticats defense, in 2nd and long situations. And again, it's all because they're really winning the 1st down battles.
This game has a couple of dangerous returners. This one about to get the ball again in Khalil Pimpleton, although he dropped it. Couldn't hang on. Ticat ball. Mac Bannatyne, the rookie out of the University of Alberta, has what could turn out to be the biggest play of this game. Another turnover committed by Ottawa. And the Ticats are set up deep as Pimpleton couldn't find the handle.
When you kick the ball across the field and you force somebody to run over and try to make the play, it's a little bit harder for the returners. Bannatyne, 1st round draft pick. Max Bannatyne, I loved his productivity in college. I loved him in the combine. 1st-year player from Alberta comes up with the play. Great kick it across the field, make the returner run underneath it so he doesn't have to camp under it. Great job by the special teams.
Ticats have drafted very well, Lapo. Of course, talking about Verisuk, the middle linebacker. Isaiah Banya, too, on the defensive line, and Bannatyne. That recovery. 1st and 10. Up the middle. Pushing his way through is Treshaun Ward. He gets it down inside the 5. Close to a 1st down. Very close indeed. See where they spot this football.
Very important for running backs. You just saw a couple of plays ago, Ward blocks Santos Knox. Now he bounces it back outside as Bryce Carter gets blocked, gets vertical north-south. You got to be able to block it, the running back position. You got to be able to have vision to get north-south. Again, this is the 1st series for the Redblacks in the red zone. They're 1st in the Canadian Football League in scoring touchdowns.
It is 2nd down. They only need a couple of inches. Short yardage. Andy Litre in at quarterback. just keeps it, gets the first down. First and goal coming up from around the 4. The Ticats knocking on the door, down by 4, and threatening to take the lead.
Nice package, using Litre as your emergency quarterback to be able to go ahead, emergency short yardage quarterback, get that first down. Now you're first and goal, 4 yards to play. Huge stop here for the Redblacks.
The Ticats have not had the lead in this game. Ottawa opened the scoring in a touchdown pass from Drew Brown to Keelan White in the first quarter. It was 7-4 Ottawa at the half. Here we are, 20-16. And the Ticats looking for another touchdown and their first lead of the ball game. Bo Levi Mitchell has time into the end zone, too far for Keandre Smith. Right back near the dead ball line. Bennett Williams was there. So too was Elijah McGee.
Back to the play actions. You usually try to throw the ball in the middle of the field because there's no middle player. Teams don't like to play with a free safety down there. They want to cover the goal line. Bo's trying to get that shot, but just really good coverage. Again, we're seeing Bennett Williams in a good position to make the play.
Second down and goal now. 5.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Mitchell to throw again to the left, open, but no, too far for Tim White. He got a hand on it, and there was nobody near him. That would have been a Ticat touchdown, but it comes down to a third and goal now.
A lot of motion used down here, and then you try to outflank the defense. Tim White outflanks, just a little much on it, or else it's a walk-in touchdown. I'm sure Bo would want that one back. As they outflank the defense, everybody collapses inside. There's the throw you need. This misses here.
Wants that one back. Wants another chance. They've got it. No sign of the field goal unit in this third and goal. Still over 5 minutes to go. Of course, they take the 3, they get to within a point. Still lots of time left, but looking like they're setting up to go for it on third down.
Part of the decision has to go through they haven't moved the ball great throughout the course of the game. So, hey, we're here at the 4-yard line. Let's take a chance now. They get the field, the problem with that is they get the field goal, then all they have to do is get in field goal range later in the game. I think their defense has stood up in the fourth quarter, Rod, so they've done a good job. Hopefully their defense can stop, for them to get another opportunity if this doesn't make it.
Yeah, they have the breeze here in the fourth quarter, 5:18 on the clock. Not looking at 3. They want 6 to become 7 and take the lead. Here we go. Touchdown or bust. Mitchell under pressure. No. What a big stop by the Ottawa Redblacks, who finally get a turnover go their way. They force a turnover on downs, and Hamilton marches down but has nothing to show for it. I should say they got great field position on the turnover. They don't get the touchdown, and Ottawa's offense will take over.
Can't find anybody to throw to. You start going through your progressions. You start looking. You see him looking to his left. He starts flipping his hips, trying to find as he goes across, but the offensive line starts to break down. You're just trying to throw it and find a player, but it's not in any position. Really good stop. Really good coverage. That's a zone pressure right there. They played zone. Force the opportunity.
Williams stand back with it, gets it up at the 10, so they're down near their own end zone, but they'll take it. That's after 5 straight incompletions by Bo Levi Mitchell. They had goal to go, but they couldn't get it in. So Ottawa hangs on to a 4-point lead. Of course, hindsight is always the judge for anyone that thought they should have just taken the 3 and still had lots of time left, down only a point. They went for it. They did not get it.
You also got to figure out something. Hey, we're not moving the ball as well as we have.
Blitz coming. Gets rid of it to Hardy. He takes a hit right away. That's Ray Wilborn, the weak side linebacker, who stops him right at the 10. So it's a quick 2 and out. As mentioned, still lots of time, and the Ticats should be getting the ball back in good shape.
You'll see there's once again a screen pass, and he recognizes it immediately and drives in to make the play. Moxie, like I said at the start of the days, Keelan White's got to be ready for this screen pass. You've got to be ready to understand they're looking in the backfield and they're going to be blocking. You got to make that block right away.
Wooden on a return. Punt of 50. And a return that gets it down to the Ottawa 50.
Tyron Vrede, great tackle right there.
And Mitchell gets another chance here still with lots of time. 20 for 37 for 235, and big touchdown pass to Kenny Lawler, but not the same type of numbers he had in a brilliant night last week at BMO Field in Toronto, but still a chance to win this game under 4 minutes, 3:51 on the clock, down by 4. And Ottawa's defense hang on again. Mitchell to the left, caught wide open. You know who? It's Kenny Lawler down at the Redblack 30. First down, Ticats.
Sometimes it's really simple. Have really good play action on the inside, have really strong protection. Throw it out on the perimeter where the one-on-ones are. Throw it to my best player. It's a first down and first down. What's great about that, they just ran right through field goal range. They got a first down on first down to put them. Now they're in field goal range. They can keep expanding their offense by getting the big shot on the first down.
Ticats with an extra offensive lineman on this play, a play action fake. Mitchell rolling and completing it. No, coming back to it right through the hands of Tim White. Would have had it right at a first down mark inside the 20, but that one's incomplete.
Good scramble by Bo again. Take off the outside.
The 3-minute warning has been issued. The Ticats still trailing by 4. Stopped before. Another chance now in the Ottawa zone, trying to come back and get the victory. His brother Trey and Nathan Rourke of BC. Yeah, great matchup at quarterbacks, and also the Elks won. They beat Ottawa last week, looking for another win, and the BC Lions, the only team this season who've come back in the fourth quarter to win. 18-1. You were talking about that, Lapo. Hamilton trying to be the second, trailing in the fourth.
And they won with 1 second left in the game.
There was a walk-off by Sean White in Montreal. Ottawa 30, 2nd and 10. Big second down here. Hamilton, Mitchell with time over the middle. Oh, nearly a spectacular catch that time from Lawler, but a bit too far. Even he can't bring it down. A flag does come out. Looks like it's going against the Redblacks now. What a big penalty this is. First down, Hamilton, down at the 15.
Mike Wakefield just goes low onto the quarterback, and you just understand you cannot, you have to control your...
Ottawa number 96, 15-yard penalty, and it's first down.
You have to control your body. You cannot... Right here, here's Mike Wakefield. He's coming in, but you're going to see what happens as he goes to do his pass rush, as he starts to fall. Doesn't matter whether you get pushed or anything, you have got to control yourself. You cannot hit the quarterback below the knees. Below against the knees is going to be a 15-yarder trying to eliminate from the game. So the defensive end's got to know you got to control yourself, or the defensive tackles, control yourself so you don't fall into the quarterback. Huge penalty.
Yeah, but on an incomplete pass, it would have forced a third down and long in a field goal situation. Instead, it goes down to the Redblack 15. Ticats can go ahead for the first time in this game if they can get the touchdown. So back at it again. They got down as far as the 4. 3 tries, couldn't get it in. Here we go again at the Ottawa 15. 2:40 on the clock. Mitchell with time. Starts to run out of it. He escapes. He takes off. Bo Levi Mitchell on the run. Not sliding that time. Takes a pop. Gets down. First down. First and goal coming up. And here we go again. Mitchell looks like he has enough to move the sticks. Very close again.
Hey, talk about him protecting the football, seeing pictures, can't find anything. All right, I'm going to take off. A little bit of a fake there. First down by Bo Levi Mitchell, just getting past it to force him in a 1st and goal situation from the 5. So he's not forcing anything. He's using his legs to keep extending drives.
Weren't we just watching this? They had the 1st and goal before, right down inside the 5. Right at this spot, trying again, 1st and goal to get to the end zone and take the lead. Mitchell hands it off, and that's Ward. And look, Lapo, like there was a little trouble on that exchange to Trayshawn Ward from Bo.
A little bit of pressure on both sides of the defense. You can see Bo's eyes. Bo is looking at the defenders. If you watch him, he's trying to check what's going to happen. Can I pull this ball? You can see that right there. And as he hands that ball off, he's just not sure whether Ward had it. Young player with him, almost got pulled out. But you can see how the quarterback's trying to execute the RPO. He's trying to look at the defensive end and either keep it or hand it off.
Bo's call, 2nd and goal. Here come the Ticats. Mitchell to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Kenny Lawler has another. Not spectacular like the other, but more important at this stage of the game. It has given the Ticats their first lead with under 2 minutes to go.
A lot of movement, a lot of motion, and then go find your best player. When you play zone down there, you're going to give up a certain amount of space. Find the space, let a player sit down, throw the ball underneath. The Hamilton Tiger Cats obviously are very good in this part of the football field. Scott Milanovic has a group of arsenal of plays that you play from inside the 10, inside the 5, like most teams do. They're one of the best at it in the Canadian Football League, scoring touchdowns in the red zone.
Important extra point here for Mark Leggio to make it a 3-point lead. So now ahead by a field goal after a 6-play, 50-yard drive in just under 2 minutes. This time in the red zone, the Ticats do cash in. And yet another touchdown for Kenny Lawler, his 5th in 2 games.
You're getting a lot of motion here because you've got an answer versus zone or man on this play as we cue it and run. And I'll tell you guys when to pause it. Pause it right there, guys. What you're going to have is a corner route. You're going to have somebody in the flat, and you're going to have a guy sitting down. If it's man, you throw this one. If it's zone and everybody lifts, you throw the inside one. And watch what happens. The Redblacks don't want to get picked in man. So they pass everything off. Too much space. Easy throw. Whether that's man or zone and they try to pass everything off, it's like you take this guy, you take this guy. There's too much motion and it's hard to figure all that out. That leaves enough space. Easy touchdown for Bo and Kenny Lawler.
Just looking at the Redblacks return formation now as William Standback is back with Khalil Pimpleton now. Standback at the 10. Leggio will kick off from the 30. Ticats lead the game. Still lots of time for the Redblacks. Standback can't get the handle inside the 10. And just tries to bull his way up to the 20. He doesn't get there. So Ottawa's going to have to start deep in their zone around their 18 for Drew Brown now. What happened here?
Again, Standback is not in great position. He doesn't have his shoulders. His shoulders should be parallel to the ball. Just a bad judge on this. Backs him up inside the 20. Long way to go for this touchdown for Drew Brown. But this is what the Redblacks, as you talked about, Rob, this is what the Redblacks brought Drew Brown in to do. Lead him to wins.
There we go. 151. Ottawa now trailing. Brown off to the right, and he throws it away. Goes in up across the 25. So incomplete pass. 2nd down and 10 at the Ottawa 19.
Good coverage in the back end. Good pressure, forcing him to throw it away.
As I look at the upright flags, Lapo, it looks like the wind is picked up against Ottawa. They are against the breeze. They're in a scenario where going for a field goal in the high 40s going this way in the first quarter, chose not to. Punted instead to get field position. They don't have that luxury now. They got to get close enough. Pressure on Brown. Escapes the rush. On the throw. What a catch. What a first down. Justin Hardy. A small window to come down with that football. And at such a critical point in this game, he gets it.
Scramble, three-man rush. Drew Brown finds space, scrambles outside, throws to Justin Hardy right in that space versus man coverage. A spectacular throw, spectacular catch to make that play.
Throwing again, and that one intended for Lewis goes off his hands in behind and incomplete. Wilborn there on Geno Lewis, but talk about the sticky hands of Justin Hardy to get them up there. It's a 2nd down and 10 coming up.
You're going to play coverage. You're going to either play coverage or you're going to try to pressure. Hamilton likes to play coverage more than doing any pressure, so you see he should be backed up. Eugene Lewis has got to kind of settle outside. Don't run into Ray Wilborn. Don't run into those big guys going to hit you. You got that space there. Stay on the outside.
Nose of the ball up to about the 39 Ottawa. 2nd and 10. Brown. Oh, nearly intercepted. It was Wilborn in there on Lewis, and Wilborn was on the inside. Had the better look at the football. And a 3rd down coming up for Ottawa. This one could have been picked.
He's got to keep his eyes right and recognize Ray Wilborn is underneath this throw the entire time, and he's going to be able to turn in time to make it. If he's too far inside, you can't go with that throw on the side, Drew Brown. But I love what Ray Wilborn does. He rolls out, turns around, puts himself in a position to make that play on the ball. Really good by Ticats defense, eliminating those inside seams that Drew Brown loves to throw.
This could be it. 3rd and 10. 1:22 in the clock. Brown. Pressure. Escapes. Throws. No. Incomplete. Moxie was right there. The coverage on Eugene Lewis. It's knocked down, and it's a turnover on downs. The Ticats take over in the Ottawa zone, leading by 3 with 1:13 to go.
As he starts to scramble around and tries to find a throw on the outside. Once you scramble, that's usually very difficult to overcome. But watch Moxie coming downhill, trying to make the play, knocks the ball down. That's what you want out of your field corner. Somebody to recognize, get his long arm out there and make that play on Hardy. Nice stop.
Lewis got his hands up. Would have been a spectacular grab. Had a chance. Coverage was good. Ticat ball looking to get over 500 for the first time since 2021. Hamlin's had a lot of slow starts. Ottawa's staring one down right now, but this is a refreshing scenario for the Ticats. The way things have gone the last couple of years. On the ground, it's Augustine who tries to push it down around the 36. How long exactly has it been, Lapo, since the Ticats have been over 500? This long. That's going back a ways.
Going back a ways.
Ottawa.
That goes back to November 2021. They finished that shortened season in 21 at 8-6, a 14-game season, and they have not been over 500 since then. They started the season at 0-2, losing in Calgary, losing here to Saskatchewan, but since then, beating Montreal, beating Toronto last week, and now just a minute 8 away from beating the Ottawa Redblacks if they can hang on.
You said defensive player. You had a new defensive coordinator. You had some new defensive players in the building. You had a couple of coaches that came in, so you had to work through some stuff, and this team is on the uprise week after week.
And as mentioned, within their division, they would be 3-0. It's 3 straight weeks facing a division foe. Looking to win another one here. Taken by Tim White. Gets it inside the 30, working it down. And that should just about do it. Looks like another first down there for the Ticats. 1:02 in the clock.
So sometimes at the end of the game, you're going to have run plays where you put screens attached because you want to get this first down. So you're going to see a receiver screen on the outside built into your run game. And if you like it, you go ahead and you throw the screen outside to Tim White, get a couple blockers, gets forward. So you're trying to, what's that's called, protecting your run. So you make sure you're at least going to put yourself in a position. If they outnumber you in the run, you can throw it outside. Tim White's a good player with the ball in his hands. Finish strong here by the Ticats.
Finish is coming up. The 28 of Ottawa. Take a miracle for the Redblacks now as the clock ticks. Fourth quarter comeback for Hamilton. Leading by 3. Back to the ground. Spinning. And grinding is Johnny Augustine. And if Hamilton hangs on and goes to 3-2, they would tie the Alouettes atop the East. And remember, in the season series a couple of weeks ago, they beat Montreal. Earlier today, Calgary beat Saskatchewan. The Stampeders are on top of the West. And for Bob Dice, staring down a 1-5 start after a winning record in a playoff appearance a year ago. Nowhere to go for Augustine. Clock down to 17 seconds. We talk about how long it's been since they've been above 500. Well, look at these starts. That's why 0-4 in 2022 and 0-3 in 23. 0-5 last year, where they started to turn it around in the second half of the season. But this is better, and as said, this is after an 0-2 start this year.
0-2 start, and Scott Milanovic gets another year in the system. He gets to get his players, gets another. Bo Levi Mitchell obviously performing well within the system. Good days ahead for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
And Bo Levi Mitchell still 27 yards shy of cracking the top 10. That is still to come in a season of milestones for that veteran quarterback. The win is the thing, and Mitchell and Milanovic and the Ticats do get it. The Redblacks made it interesting. They had the lead heading to the fourth. That man, Kenny Lawler, working some magic again, but overall, it's not how, it's how many. And the Ticats are above 500, a winning record of 3-2.
Huge play by Mac Bannatyne, recovering a fumble to put the Redblacks backed up, get the Hamilton Ticats good positions. Once again, them getting the touchdown to Kenny Lawler right in the fourth quarter. So this is a good win, because you don't play great on offense, you still find a way to win. Won the turnover margin once again. That's how you win football games, Rod.
And the next time they meet is next week. This is a home-and-home series, and it just gets bigger for the Ottawa Redblacks. Last